Dickie Venables bringing Matt Hagan up to the pre-stage beam for Blake Alexander, the Chrono Auto Service Center head contractor's car in lane number 2. Did not necessarily have the qualifying effort he wanted, but we know that Jim Head and Blake Alexander can dial up some numbers out of that car. The Versatrans Toyota of Dave Richards in lane 4. Big trouble for Brock. It's going to be Richards, and it's going to be Hagan. 4:014 at 3:19 for Dave Richards and a 3:91.8 for Matt Hagan. And we'll have to wait another day to see a whole shot showdown.
I don't know why the last guy back there popped his...
This is the case. The reaction times don't matter. What does matter is your car has to be set up properly. In this case, it was Matt Hagan, flawless, getting to the finish line, a very competitive time. And in that number 4 lane, it was Dave Richards. And he did have the help that he needed. It was a good reaction time off the starting line from Austin Proctor. We're going to see his car launch and instantly encounter problems. Those problems come in the way of a loss of traction. And there it is, you can see it. And the car may have just shook. So a couple of things are at play. Either the car was weak, it sticks the tire, that rear tire cannot recover. It tells the driver it starts to shake. Take a look and you can see. So there's a loss of traction, and typically a loss of traction is just too much power, too much clutch application. It may have not had enough wheel speed initially. He could feel it shake. The problem was when he got the car back recovered and that tire, see right there, you can see the problems for Blake Alexander going over that center line in that number 2 lane, but it just goes back to the car was not set up properly. It could be related to the engine power level, of course the engine clutch and how it was set up.
Second throttle whack sent Blake off to the left side. He nerfed the block as was his retirement from Pro Stock Drag Racing. The boys will continue on the legacy, but Fernando has decided that at 65 years old, he's getting out of the seat. We got a chance to catch up with Fernando and the boys earlier this weekend.
Hi, good morning. This is Fernando Cuadra. This is my sons, Fernando, Christian, and David.
I want him to know that I'm really proud of everything he did, like in the business, in his racing career, in everything he did. He's my biggest hero. And I'm really glad I have him as my dad, because I feel like...
To make the most attention paid to this weekend by winning the Mission 2 Fast 2 Tasty Challenge.
And she did it in a way, she did the old switcheroo. It was Jet Carlton getting the best of her in the semifinals. She did advance due to Greg Anderson's run being disqualified, and she swapped the role on Jet Carlton Jr. in the final.
She pulled the rug right up from underneath him with a whole shot victory here, and you can see her in lane number 2. And the Mission Foods medal, trophy, and those championship points of money went to her. The Lucas Oil ladder will show Eric Jr. lane 2.
HendrickMotorsportsCars.com.
And that is not Greg Anderson. No, that is Dave Connolly shaking down a brand new car for Greg Anderson in the HendrickCars.com Camaro in lane number 4. Connolly, of course, a 26-time winner on tour. One of the great naturally talented guys, 8 number 1 qualifiers, a great sportsman racer as well. He promotes sportsman racers when he's not doing his job as a full-time crew chief for KB Racing. This guy is drag racing through and through. The Coughlin boys in the middle of the racetrack. We know that Jeg is the incoming winner of the last race on tour, also contested in that 4-wide format out in Las Vegas.
Looking for Dave Connolly, every time he's rolled up to the starting line for a qualifying run, they've landed in the mid-50s, so a very consistent, very competitive car.
Whoa. We brought the revs up. The 2-step rev limiter failed, shooting his foot off the clutch pedal, shooting it through the beams, and Jake Coughlin is looking at the back of 2 Camaros. It is going to be Kramer and Troy moving on. A 137 light, a 127 light. Those are the 2 winning reaction times. A 6:52 and a 6:55 win. And for Dave Connolly, that's a rough one.
Yeah, you can see how that distracted, how it disrupted the reaction time from drivers that are typically pretty quick. Derek Kramer, Jake Coughlin Jr., Troy Coughlin. Just probably saw the red light, were processing what happened. They heard the noise. But it was Derek Kramer with the best performance that earned him a semifinal round.
Dan Wilkerson, he wins his quad and thanks off of a whole shot victory for you. A great light in the 80. Staging procedure begins.
Already. Here we go. The black one looking awesome.
Lanes 1 and 3, and the advancing cars come from lanes 1 and 3. Stanfield hole shotted 2 of them out of there, and it is Tucker getting the other one.
That black car looked
Stanfield
good.
655.2, 654.8 for Tucker. They advance. Quickest of the quad was Latino with a 53, and he's bounced.
Well, it's not a triple, but it is a double-double with a soda, with a side of fries. For Brandon Foster, he was out of the race. Just didn't get off the starting line. Some distraction that really took him out of the running. But then it became about Eric Latino, Aaron Stanfield, Jerry Tucker. And because of the quickness of Tucker and Stanfield, they will find themselves advancing.
So we look at the total time. This will determine the size of the hole shot. We take the reaction time and the elapsed time. That's how it gets us the total time. And it shows you a 58.6 and a 58.8 outran handily those other 2 runs. But, Tony, I'm disappointed, man. In this part of the country, you're a cookout guy. So what's the cookout order? I don't want an in-and-out order in North Carolina.
Well, I stand corrected. I did wait 20 minutes in line and cookout about midnight the other night.
We go inside the car with Brandon Foster of the Aqua Prop Camaro.
He's hitting all the marks. You can hear him get through the gears. It's a 5-speed transmission. He's getting through the gears before he gets to the 8th mile. But if he could look over and see all 3 cars were well ahead of him.
Dave Richards is with Bruno Massel at the top end.
It has been a struggle thus far in 2024 for Dave.